Assalamualaikum, my name is Haqim Bin Najamuddin, D20231105574. So in this e-portfolio, I'm going to share my insights and understanding of the several aspects in the field of English language teaching. What I understand about the secondary English language curriculum, it is actually the framework that enhances students' communicative skills such as listening, speaking, reading and writing, and also linguistic knowledge, which is pronunciation, vocabulary and grammar for Form 1 till Form 5 students. So this curriculum follows a progressive structure aligned with the CEFR framework. So when I went through the curriculum, I found out that this curriculum is actually designed to enhance student proficiency in communication. Number 2 is to develop students' problem-solving skills, and number 3 is to support students' personal development. So this framework divides English language into 5 main components, which are listening, speaking, reading, writing, and also literature and actions. So when I mentioned about CFR, it is the framework that is intended to assess language proficiency, so it has been integrated in our Malaysian education system since 2017, and that's why we have the CFR textbook. We have teachers need to attend trainings to enhance instructional activities are effective, and also they need to obtain CEFR A1 in order for them to teach. But if you look closely, CEFR stresses on the language proficiency levels varying from A1 till C2. So you can refer to this chart here. And when I read about the CFR textbook, I read the textbook, for example, Pulse 1, I personally think that the cultural content presented on the textbook is somehow disputed due to its limited relevance in Malaysia. Yeah, maybe because it is written by the British linguist, but I think the content is very alien to Malaysian students. It will be better if the content presented in the textbook reflect Malaysian local identity, because the students somehow can relate with the content as they already have the schemas or previous knowledge and experience on this, and that what makes learning more effective. Moving on to the learning motivation. So I understand motivation as an act of stimulating someone's interest in the learning target language. So integrating motivation is when you learn because you want to be part of the culture or people speaking that language, while instrumental motivation is when you learn for the sake of career goals or other achievement purposes. So we can somehow relate these two motivations in LSL classrooms. For example, in integrative motivation, the motivation is driven by the interest in the outer community and culture, which foster enthusiasm, resilience, and long-term commitments of the language learning. Meanwhile, in instrumental motivations, the motivation is to excel in L2 and focus on achieving practical goals such as academic qualifications, and this actually promotes goal-oriented effort and also academic success. So how to motivate ASL learners and why is it so important? Number 1 is trigger students' interest by using relevant topics, medias and real-life materials to foster engagement. Number 2 is integrate fun activities and technologies by employing games and multimedia to sustain enthusiasm and also to reduce anxiety. Number 3 is encourage real-world use of English through social media or applications to promote language practice outside of the classroom for immersive and also authentic learning. Based on my research on several articles and definitions provided by Oxford and Reid, I understood language learning styles as the consistent preferences in how learners perceive and process a language. There are 3 types of learning style, which is auditory, visual and kinesthetic. Basically, the idea is auditory learners excel language through listening, visual learners excel language through visual aids, and kinesthetic learners through hands-on activity and physical engagement. So each student has a different learning style. So how can teacher actually catches to different learning styles? So my suggestion is use varied methods when introducing the materials, such as by using visual aids, audio clips, and hands-on activities. And number 2 is teacher can also apply different instructions, incorporate multi-sensory techniques such as role play to foster cooperative learning and for engagement, cultural exchange, and authentic language use. So I believe that addressing these different learning styles, it can enhance comprehension, boost confidence and engagement, and also foster active participation. And this will successfully create an inclusive and effective learning environment. Language learning strategies, in my understanding, is the deliberate actions learners use to enhance the second language acquisition or learning. So it is the action that makes the learning more enjoyable and effective. So it is categorized into 2, which is indirect and also direct strategies. So under direct strategies, memory strategies, it is when students use mnemonics to store and also retrieve language, such as forming sentences in using new vocabulary in the English. Number 2 is cognitive strategies, when students process, understand, also produce language through tasks like note-taking and writing. Number 3 is compensatory strategies. It is when students overcome language gaps by guessing the meanings to maintain communication effectively. Number two is indirect strategies. So metacognitive strategies, it is involve students to plan, monitor and evaluate their own learning to stay organized and focused. Number two is effective strategies. It involves students managing their emotions and motivation to enhance persistence in learning. And lastly is the social strategies, actually the techniques that says learning through interactions and collaborative in the target language. Teaching approach, in my understanding, is a framework of principles and beliefs that shape how language learning is understood and implemented in classroom. So let me share with you the application and rationale of several teaching methodologies based on the ideas of 4 learning theories. Firstly, the behaviorism by P.F. Skinner. It says that learning involves habit formations through imitation, repetition, and reinforcement. Classical conditioning links stimuli from teacher to responses from students. Meanwhile, operant conditioning, it involves the use of reinforcement, whether it be positive or negative, to shape language behavior. My idea is teacher models correct pronunciation when reading passages, use contextual clues such as flashcards to support understanding, and number 3 is reinforce learning through praise for accurate language use. Secondly, cognitivism theory by John Piaget. So this theory emphasizes on learning through mental processes like schema, which is the prior knowledge, assimilation, which is linking new and prior knowledge, accommodation, adjusting the schemas, and number 4 is equilibration, which is balance the new and existing knowledge. So my idea in classroom is teacher give a passage about the values and cultural significance of celebrations in Malaysia for them to explore the cultural context. Surely they're able to connect ideas to their experiences, then refine understanding through discussions and also reflections. Number 3 is cognitivism by John Piaget. So this theory highlights the active learning where students build knowledge based on prior experiences. So teachers guide the learning by fostering collaboration and practical problem solving without providing direct solutions. My idea is teacher provides group projects on presentation of topics like holidays to engage students in reflecting on students' prior experiences. Then they share ideas about the real destinations, real itinerary, and also real budget among their group, and collaboratively construct new understanding to the project presentations. Number 4 is social cultural theory by Love Vygotsky. So this theory emphasizes language learning through interactions and social collaborations. So my idea is the teachers do a role play on real life situations such as ordering food in restaurants or grocery shopping in the grocery store. So this role play activity aligns with the social cultural theory by fostering collaborative learning through the peer interactions and also the teacher's guidance. So grouping students with a diverse learning abilities enables peers learning. It aligns with the social nature of knowledge, while the teacher scaffold or ZPD gives ZPD support to help students perform the tasks they initially cannot do on their own. So this activity, I believe, can promote real-life language use, social skills, and also independent problem solving. Based on several journal articles and also videos on YouTube posted by Kagan accounts, so I understood Kagan cooperative learning strategies as like the guidance for teachers to implement inclusivity and collaborative in their classrooms. So it's basically like a set of ways on how students can cooperate and also collaborate in the classroom. So back in 1968, Dr. Kagan, he said that he addressed the limitations of traditional teaching methods in the traditional classroom that often foster competition among students and also has like low engagement, as most of the class time involves passive listening. Dr. Kagan also said that this type of classroom, traditional classroom, they marginalize all shy students, less competitive students, or lower achieving students, and it has hinders the equitable participations. So that's why he developed these strategies to enhance participations, teamwork, and also equitable learning that actually supports the students' academic and social development. So you can read this book that I attached here to support my explanations, and there are actually 35 of Kagan cooperative learning strategies, and you can scroll here. The examples are all right round robin, time pair share, fan and pick, and also stand up, hand up, and pair up. But anyways, let's delve into my favorite Kagan strategies. First one is all right round robin. It is actually like an activity where students work in a group of 4 and they take turns to share ideas on the topics or questions proposed by teacher, while the other students will take note or jot down every responses. Number 2 is time pair share. It is basically the activity where students work in pairs and they take turns to share something, while the other partner, they listen. Then the roles switch. So if you notice all the strategies, they promote collaborative learning where students work together to solve problems, encourage participation engagement where everyone did the activity and have like the equitable or safe opportunities to express their ideas. Number 3 is enhance cognitive critical thinking where they brainstorm ideas to solve problems.